Welcome back to What She Said. Yes, yes, yes. I know we go live at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight, but this could not wait. Okay, so now things are starting to make sense. Y'all ever wonder why all of a sudden New Orleans was interested in Shedeur? So let's just take a quick trip down memory lane. Okay, I told y'all when before the combine that the number 40 pick in the draft was Jalen Milroe slated to New Orleans, right? And we just knew Shedeur was a lock for Vegas, the whole Tom Brady connection, right? Brady mode, legendary mode. But Shedeur filled out his own shoes, so he switched from Brady mode to legendary mode. And then Pete Carroll was hired by the Raiders, right? So that seemed to change things because Pete Carroll began to make moves rather than Tom Brady making moves, right? But I told you I was a little lukewarm on the Vegas Raiders when they were trying to get next to Matt Stafford. So I kind of felt like a jilted girlfriend, like, oh, okay, so you looking at somebody else. All right. So fast forward, Pete Carroll's hired suddenly against supposedly the wishes of the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith lands in Vegas, and that changes things. Initially, he was a third round pick, so I'm thinking, he's probably gonna be bridge QB, QB2, whatever, right? But then Geno Smith declares he wants a big payday for the Vegas Raiders, and I'm like, how he's gonna get that? Because Shadeur's going there, right? So I forgave Vegas for trying to get next to Matt Stafford. But then Geno Smith lands. I see Shedeur and Geno in a photo together, and the next thing you know, Geno Smith gets a good payday in Vegas. 2 years, 75 mil. That's a lot of money. That's not bridge QB money. Bridge QB money is 8 mil for say 2 years or 10 mil for 1 year. Hint, hint, right? So seemingly Vegas might not be the landing spot for Shedeur, and definitely not based on the fans' wishes for Shedeur Sanders to start in the NFL, right? And about the same time, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston land and they all become locks for the Giants. So suddenly you don't hear any commentary about Shedeur going to the Giants. Even though if you ask an analyst, they don't believe that Russell Wilson can get the job done or Jameis Winston is capable of getting the job done, meaning winning and saving the jobs of the GMs that hired them for the Giants, right? So enters the New Orleans Saints. There was all types of speculation with the Cleveland Browns crushing on Shedeur. We all kind of figured that Cam Ward was a lock for Tennessee or that Tennessee would trade those picks, but not Shedeur Sanders. So it was said that Shedeur Sanders canceled probably his fourth visit, it seems, to Tennessee because it seems that the Titans are bullish on Cam. So why bother, right? Enters the New Orleans Saints. And everybody, the media, me, What She Said podcast supporters, our community, Buff fans, every single body, people in New Orleans, podcasters in New Orleans, is bullish on Shedeur going to the Saints. Just the idea of it is like, oh, an angelic sound to your ears, right? So, one hiccup, Derek Carr is there. But I told y'all, when the Saints hired Kellen Moore, they were interested. Keller said Kellen Moore wanted his own QB. But I was thinking it was gonna be Jackson Dart because he went right there to Ole Miss. Business says, get that Mississippi crowd. Then there's Jalen Milroe, who went right there to Alabama, get Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. But then Shedeur Sanders. So what happens to Derek Carr? Well, with knowing that Kellen Moore wanted to get his own QB, um, yeah, Derek Carr, might have to take a back seat. Or as some have speculated in What She Said podcast community, Derek Carr could get traded. And then the Saints could move up to draft Shedeur Sanders. So I already had a poll out there as to who would draft Shedeur Sanders. And surprisingly, the majority, over 56%, said that the Saints were going to draft Shedeur Sanders. So everybody is in on this. It makes so much sense. Business sense, football sense. We even did a mock draft looking at Shedeur and what conference would be the best for him based on where he went. And the consensus was the NFC South or the AFC North, right? So I think the NFC South won. That will put Shedeur facing off against Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers, and Michael Penix Jr. of the Saints. That would set that entire division on fire. I will be sitting in the end zone, being a NOLA girl, and currently living in Atlanta. Yeah. Some people say the same division as CJ Stroud, but no, 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 no. That Saints Falcons rivalry, and then you have Sanders moving into Manning territory. So that entire Manning Sanders legacy, Saints Falcons legacy is like an inside joke. We got to make this happen. So today, imagine my surprise when I hear Derek Carr has what is some are calling a season-ending injury. Mind you, the season hasn't even get started, but it's off season, right? So he has an off season and season injury, and he has to figure out what to do. Some say he might be having surgery, which means he's not available for the season, just like Deshaun Watson. So what does that mean? Well, we learned that Cleveland Deshaun Watson was insured. His injury was insured. So that 45 or $46 million they owed him was covered. And they get to kind of use that money, even though they don't get paid from the insurance claim. Y'all know how insurance work. They didn't get paid from the insurance claim until 2026. But it looks like accounting would allow them to use that credit in 2025. So the Saints could do the same thing with Derek Carr. Not miss any money, that money goes right back in the pool. And now headlines say they are seeking a replacement. Is it possible that Shedeur Sanders could not only land in New Orleans, but be a lock to get traded up for the number one spot? Because Tennessee is just not 100% certain. I mean, they talk about Cam, but they were still wanting to talk to Shedeur until Shedeur said, you know what? Thank you, but no thank you. I appreciate the consideration. So now Tennessee might sell that pick, and New Orleans has money to shop with. But so does Cleveland. So Cleveland is number two. No need for Cleveland to pick up, right? No need for Cleveland to trade up. But number nine, you definitely want to get in front of the Vegas Raiders and get Shedeur at number one. And I'm telling you, Shedeur will be the steal of the draft, and the New Orleans Saints can get ready for a rise. Now, remember, we saw Alvin Kamara because I was like, who is this? I was like, Alvin Kamara. That is Alvin Kamara in Colorado, standing next to Coach Prime. And Coach Prime already said that he likes the black and gold. See, you and the Saints kind of got the same colors. The last person to wear number two as a QB in New Orleans, I think, is Aaron Brooks. His jersey was currently going for $549 on eBay. So you know what? I think this is going down. And you know what? I love it. So y'all have to let me know your thoughts.